Alrighty, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Time to jump into the IEM Chengdu 2024 Oceania closed qualifier. It is Elfish Guy and Pilsky here with you on the A stream. B stream going on as well, ESL CSB if you want to watch Rooster and Mindfreak. But we're locked in for Bad News Kangaroos and Grayhound, who will be starting off on the T side of Nuke, playing a little patiently there in lobby and exploring outer.
Progression smoke to Annex side and flash over the top from Alistair. You can see Dexter just looking for that P250 pick up towards Heaven side. PZ spotting out Alistair, but out they go into upper here.
Yeah, indeed. Hats with the dualies. See if he can knock a couple of heads off. Already has done that against Alistair. And Hazard, always reliable up on the rafters as well, able to chime in too. So, pretty respectable result for Bad News Kangaroos. However, they have allowed the bomb plant to go down. So, that is going to mean there will be some shenanigans coming in the next round.
It's a good start from Hats, 3k from him. And as we kind of mentioned before, like, I expected him to go into this Vertex roster ages ago, and I even heard some rumors that that might be something that's on the cards. And obviously he played in Encore and a couple of other rosters at certain points as well. So I'm really keen to see how he goes on this roster. Obviously the shining light of this roster in the last little bit has been Addict and Hazard, and how consistent they've been as core riflers over the last year or more, really. Definitely putting up a lot of consistent firepower here for the CT side. But Grayhound, on the other hand, as you mentioned, a round 2 force buy. Waiting out the initial wave of util here. Dexter still waiting around in spawn. Maybe to throw some set util, wall of smokes across the outside or something like that, just to deny information to the CT side. You see the quick rotation. Anticipating some kind of outside pressure here from Addict. Down through Secret with an A1S, but it looks like a bit of a ramp contact or a pop flash play straight through off the back of the wall of smoke across outside.
Grace loses a lot of his HP there, but at the very least is able to get out and get his util down, so he'll delay Grayhound somewhat.
This is a very uncomfortable position for the CT side. They've been denied information on outside. Ramp control's been taken by Grayhound, so it's up to the CTs to just play strong crossfires, punish the Ts when they do try to take more space elsewhere. Grayhound, on the other hand, waiting for any kind of a mistake from the CTs here, starting to explore ladder base now.
Patience from Hats, but not quite patient enough, and Alistair buys his time a little better. So, player down already for Bad News Kangaroos, and this is where it kind of goes from bad to worse potentially. With Brace being the only player down on B to defend, and he's 8 HP with an MP9 stuck in the back of sight. Doesn't really have too much proactivity in this kind of position, so should just go down for free like that to Vex side, and with that, it's kind of a round over.
Yeah, that's got to be a save from the CTs here. It's really simplistic play there from Grayhound. Wall of smoke across the outside, pop flash into ramp, and they just hold around the map waiting for the CTs who are super uncomfortable in that position. Dexter able to salvage himself an A4. What an upgrade from the Tech 9 here. This is a great start here from the T side, and you know, I feel like this discussion has not really been there lately as we're getting used to the MR12 format, but this is still, especially losing that rifle, one of the worst things that can happen to you on the second round of the CT side in MR12 format. You immediately lose against the forced post bomb plant for the Ts, and they are able to pick up multiple rifles from the CT side and win with the bomb planted. Already, Grayhound is in a really, really outstanding position on the T side to start to take control of this game. And Bad News Kangaroos, you can see double eco. Have probably got to cut some corners here, try to see if they can cause a little bit of an upset with the force in round 2. But if that doesn't work for them, they're in a really horrid position.
Yeah, indeed. The Nuke, the map choice of Grayhound as well, so they'll know how they want to negotiate this one pretty comfortably, you'd think. Deagle's out for PZ, UMP, MP9 to finish off the buy around those saved weapons. Doesn't leave you a whole lot to play with. And a little bit of util available for Bad News Kangaroos. Gets tossed early in the round, the smoke and the molly toward the door, but now they're down to just a smoke and a molly, so really not a whole lot that they can use to delay Grayhound here either.
Same again, Dexter left on outside, wall of smoke to deny info, and then there's going to be this ramp play from Grayhound. Or no, they're starting to make their way back towards lobby, and Dexter's been found on outside. This is a much better defense compared to round 2 here from the CTs.
So far so good, and Hats is able to get himself another one. So Up on top of Hut, he's going to have to be cleared out. Alistair didn't seem to get the memo. He'll be brought down as well. And finally, Inns finds the trade, but that ends up just being a little bit too clean from Bad News Kangaroos, actually. One upgrade there with the Galil going into the hands of PZ, so it's not, you know, hugely successful in terms of getting A keys or anything like that, but you'll definitely take the round there if you're BNK.
Oh, for sure. It's a massive round. Addict getting that pick on outside. It was a 1-4 from Grayhound. They lose their lurker, which means they lose the map presence that they invested multiple smokes to be able to try to take on outside, and then not feeling comfortable enough to go into the ramp against maybe the force fires, close range weaponry. Evens things out a lot more here. Grayhound buying up themselves somewhat limited util, molly to credit card, trying to take space on outside. It's a multiple swing from all of the T's here, but Addict unable to trade favorably, and now a man advantage for the T's.
This is just going to be a massive brawl, isn't it? It kind of feels like one of those games where we'll be going back and forth for a little while until someone's able to restore some semblance of normalcy to the game. Inns to win a duel. Hazard another back and forth to go. And Hazard, unable to stand up to the double swing through from Annex, will fall as well. So it's just onto Brace. He might actually get this kill onto Inns with the nade. Does. So that'll help. But it is still a 1-on-2.
Lance nice and open here from Alistair. No head armor for Liazz, so aim punch a factor with the MP9 as Brace begins to wrap around in through elbow side. Alistair already posted and ready, but quite low on HP here.
That's a good start, though it does cost a lot of HP for Brace. He's been able to get himself an AK at least. He's going to have to move quickly, even despite having that defuse kit. Timer ticking away. Smoke available. Could smoke the bomb and defuse, but he might just sit it here and see if he can play that game with liazz, who hasn't peaked in time. And it is a win for Bad News Kangaroos. Again, though, the circumstances don't really help them in the long term.
Yeah, lost a lot of guns, but here's the thing. I don't know. Will Grayhound buy up into this one? They know they put a lot of economic pressure on the CT side. The double reset potential is still well and truly there. You see a fair bit of investment here for Grayhound. They could have definitely considered something like a half buy here, but they're going to push all their chips into the middle of the table. Try to go for broke. Orp comes out for PZ here. Somewhat middling utility here for the T side, who once again invest in early wall of smokes across outside and start to make some moves across towards secret. PZ able to pick Dexter through the smoke though, so one player dying on the cross there for Grayhound. Starts to limit their chances of a successful post plan in lower. They creep across behind the smoke here.
Yeah, Molotov's going to come down nicely as well, just to tickle Vexite a couple of tags. So that'll get him into one-shot range for the M4s.
Inns applies some util pressure to upper. Only got a Tech 9. He's on a really late lurk through outside. This round really depends on Grayhound finding some success here in lowers. They need to find this lowers angle for this player. Moving down the vent on a really nice timing bomb drop, but that's great info gathered by Hazard.
Addict waiting patiently for Inns, but he'll have his head banged off by the Tech 9. Still a numbers game here that's looking good for Bad News Kangaroos. PZ's also going to be able to spot Alistair out. Bomb not in control of Grayhound at the moment. Leaves a pretty sticky situation ahead. So Inns is going to have to go and collect that, but they've only got 30 seconds left to play with now. And they don't really have that control on the B site that you had wanted. However, Inns has been allowed to cross, and so they will be given the bomb plant.
Nice and safe from Inns. Alistair set up in the pole position to try to clutch up from Decon. Inns going to try to cut some corners on low HP here and try to catch one of the CTs off guard, who are all playing very patiently. Kid on Brace. If that dies early in window room, that could be a problematic for sure.
First still looking pretty good there for Bad News Kangaroos. This Brace will win it. And Inns really can't do too much. So defuse on, and BNK have won themselves another round.
Yeah. This is really good signs from them. They were in a bit of a pickle after that round 2 defeat. Their economy in the bin. They're able to put that round together. and then win a 1v1 clutch, and all of a sudden they're in a fantastic position on the CT side here, despite the bomb plants and the economic damage inflicted by Grayhound. They have been forced on an eco. So Grayhound, you know, with the loss bonus, with the bomb plants that they've been able to get, they actually are able to invest in a fair bit of weaponries. Tech 9 and armor, a little bit of util. It's like they may be looking for a ramp timing here. Every kill that the T's can get in a round like this is going to create a window where they can try to get back into this half, and they might have found Brace in transition here. Face fully white, able to retreat back down into the ramp room, but it's a wrap into ladder base here for the T's.
Yeah, PC, oh, he wasn't expecting that at all. He's in all sorts of trouble, missing the first shot with the AWP, and then he's going to be run down, gunned down by the Tech 9s, which continued to prove successful for Grayhound. And it really is just all too familiar territory, isn't it? You see Grayhound struggling in a game, and then a round like this comes out, and you're wondering, well, have Bad News Kangaroos just let that pressure loose?
Yeah, they are double eco off the back of this one. And look at all the guns picked up here by Grayhound. They were in a pretty terrible position on this T side, but the half by getting through and taking all those guns away from Bad News Kangaroos has given Grayhound an early in back into this half here. See the scoreline start to even up quite a bit. Attic just going to try to hold on to the A1S, and I'm not sure what the CTs are going to do here. I think they're double eco. You got Brace and PZ around 1k here, so you could consider the single save, to be perfectly honest, even though Hazard's going to be pretty close to double eco. We'll see what they opt for. Grayhound, on the other hand, very happy with that one. 3 guns picked up. It's very little invested in a round like this. Is going to start to balloon their economy out of control. They're going to be able to buy for pretty much the rest of this half, and even picking up an MP9 at the end of that one. Hazard immediately buys Deagle, Kevlar, but maybe considering not forcing into this one. We'll see. No, they are going to force, so... This is one of those feel bad forces, because even if you win it, you don't break the T-side economy here.
Well, gotta do what you gotta do, right? You reap what you sow, and unfortunately Bad News Kangaroos, having lost that round, have once again kind of put themselves into a bit of a precarious position after starting to look like they were going to be a dominant force in this half.
Yeah. They're not completely all in. You see PZ still saving for AWP here, only investing in Deeg. Patience once again from Grayhound on this T side. Just little bits of progression, util, flash over the top. Oh, Addict looking for that outside pick, but this time Alistair's ready.
Well, that's 1 for 1. Not quite going to be enough to make things too exciting for Bad News Kangaroos just yet. And you do still have PZ down toward the B bomb site. Nothing happening on outer for Brace. He'll get that information, retrieve the M4, and go scurrying off to assist elsewhere. Might be a good spot to find himself actually in close to ladder base. PZ can strike for maybe 1 or 2 here, then things could start to get interesting. Just the 1, plus a bit of damage onto liazz. Still in control of Grayhound.
Easy one for Dexter in the side of the head. Brace may have found timing there to sneak down into lower. How has Dexter not heard him there? He was stomping around, doesn't end up mattering. 3 guns up for Grayhound. They break the CT economy. And this has just been flip-flopping all over the place as to who's favoured so far, Jordan. But I dare say it's going to be Grayhound back on top yet again here.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Will be a save, obviously, from BNK. Just one small little issue for Bad News Kangaroos has been the difference maker between quite a dominant looking half and maybe Grayhound just sort of running away with things a little bit. I feel like Grayhound in particular is one of those teams that when you let them get away with it a little bit and allow them back into the game, they very rarely let you back into the game.
Look at this warehouse stack. Money man Alistair making his way down secret. Dexter clears out uppers for free. Doors wide open. So Bad News Kangaroos with the warehouse stack. Maybe anticipating, you know, a popular anti-eco strat these days is the yard route with the smoke onto windows and up to heaven side. The new waterfall smoke's obviously popularizing that. So I think that's what Bad News Kangaroos are really trying to play around here with the pistol stack. Alistair coming up, back up secret side though, could be on for a bit of agriculture, a bit of a farm.
They're not really coming together for Bad News Kangaroos though in this round. And Alistair with the opportunity to farm a bit of cash. He's going to grab a couple of kills on the Mac 10. Like to see that.
Nice little one tap from Inns. And PZ just seeing what he can get. If he can get himself an extra kill here at the end of the round, that's an extra grenade for him to put in his back pocket. There you go. Oh! Not quite clean up his dinner, unfortunately. A lot of damage onto those T's, but doesn't end up really mattering a whole lot. So Bad News Kangaroos, unfortunately, falling to 4 apiece from them in what was a pretty nice looking game. And really this half kind of moves to what can we do? How many rounds can we chip away into this half? Because the T's are never getting reset at this point. They've got so much cash. You're just trying to string whatever CT gun rounds you can before we head into the next half. Front spawn there for Alistair on the AWP. I would have been keen to see if he's going for something. And indeed he is, straight over towards outside. He's leading the pack. Maybe looking to try to get boosted up and look for a pick into warehouse. But Grayhound this time pull towards outside. Quick drop over onto Annex side. HE8 into the smoke, looking for a pick on the cross there. Now Grayhound make their way across the secret. It's actually a flash into warehouse here for Dexter. Found by Brace. Man advantage here for Bad News Kangaroos. Punishing the cross there on outside. But Grayhound down into lowers here with a little bit of space. Could still find a favorable post plant for themselves, depending on how successful Hazard is here from Deacon.
Yeah, it's going to be the big question mark, isn't it? And so far, answering that challenge quite nicely. The nade will cause a bit of a ruckus as well, and that is well defended in the end by Hazard, who will force Alistair into a solo situation. PZ missing the shot. Does keep Alistair in the round. Not going to be an easy one to negotiate from here. It's got CTs lurking all over the place. Timing here for Hazard doesn't work out. That's a quick one from Alistair.
This would be an ace clutch.
He's looking in the form to do it in as well. You can see sometimes Alistair, those quick flicks, they start to connect. It's going to be an interesting, it's going to be an exciting day even. Let's see what he's going to be able to manage here. Smoke preventing him from seeing the CTs at Megaton, but Tech9's going to get whipped out, and I think the timing just hasn't quite favored him out there, and he gets shot in the back of the head by Hats. So another one up for Bad News Kangaroos, and they can start to mount a little bit of a defense now of this CT side.
Yeah, but as we often say, every round they pick up, dropping guns along the way is definitely going to start to hold their economy back, make them more resettable. And as I already mentioned before, Grayhound have got plenty of gun rounds in the back pocket. Oh, we're starting to get towards the tail end of this half here, so look, there could be a good salvage job on the cards here for Bad News Kangaroos here on the CT side. See if that continues. Door not getting blown open here. PZ looking for that opening pick, but not given the opportunity to do so. Grayhound maybe looking for a lobby timing this time around. Dexter left on the lurk outside. Great kill through the smoke there from Hazard though. Bad News Kangaroos have done a pretty good job finding opening picks so far on this CT side.
I mean, credit where it's due. I think Bad News Kangaroos have actually looked like the better team so far in this matchup. It's just that, well, one, the economy's been a little difficult for them after losing that anti-eco, and two, they lost the anti-eco. So the scoreline is actually fairly close still, but when we really talk about the important rounds, the gun rounds themselves, Bad News Kangaroos have definitely had the run of things.
Yeah, for sure. Grayhound winning the round 2 force and the half buy has definitely put a lot of rounds on the board and given them a lot more cash, which already on the T side, especially in this MR12 format, is something that's difficult to deal with. With this man advantage though, Bad News Kangaroos playing this one pretty much by the numbers. Addict protecting that outside wrap towards ladder base. They've got one player pinned back in ramp on the double AWP, mind you. If this uppers pick gets in, this could be a difficult retake on the double AWP for the CT side though.
Too bad from Hazard. Alistair's going to get the kill onto Hats, but subsequently lose his life to PZ. And Brace is down towards the bomb site. It's made a bit of noise there, but liazz maybe didn't hear him or didn't hear it quick enough because he was already well committed. So that'll be another one for Bad News Kangaroos. A successful one again with 3 guns alive.
In's a little broker than the rest of the boys. Could definitely still get dropped an AK by Dexter though. No issues at all. So another buy here for Grayhound, but with only 2.4 loss bonus, without a bomb plant heading into round 12, they could actually get soft reset here. That could give an easier access to an 8-4 here for Bad News Kangaroos. PZ again, going for the door pick. Mostly been the riflers who have been opening up these rounds for the CT side though. Cheeky. Little boost up onto the ramp. They've seen that a couple of times for Grayhound, but Dexter just walks out onto the line, straight through the smoke, taking duels himself and trades favorably. PZ able to keep it 3 apiece though.
I mean, Dexter, I guess, has just decided he's done with it. He's had enough. Top started player for Grayhound in the RMR qualifier. Hazard won't quite get the better of the smoke fade, which leaves it on to PZ to show us what he's got. He's been reasonably solid so far today. There's another good opportunity for him to have a big impact, and that's another nice shot. He spots out Alistair as well. Wallbang will help out, and Addict on the flank gets the freebie.
That's gorgeous.
Great
Look at
round.
that. They deny the bomb plant. It's a soft reset on the T-side economy. They are looking pretty fantastic here.
Yeah.
Bad News Kangaroos bringing some really good form into the first couple of tournaments of this year. Honestly, 2023, I was a little underwhelmed in some of the events that I was watching them, some of the domestic events, but they are playing very well heading into 2024. I'm thoroughly impressed. Pretty mediocre buy here for Grayhound. Just trying to piece together whatever they could. Quick wall of smoke across outside. Dexter trying to set the pace and make his way across the secret here. PZ can hear those footsteps down into secret. That should prompt a rotate from one of the ramp players. Indeed, Brace makes his way down. And you also get the vent drop. But Hazard, you thought he was going to be good for that, but a triple dink from the MAC-10 denies the hut push.
I mean, I guess that'll do it. Alice is able to get the upgrade to the M4, though 15 HP. It's MAC-10 domination from Grayhound so far in this round. Both their kills coming from that SMG. Now Vexite will do things a different way. This is just madness. Vexite up the ladder, doesn't actually go down to PZ. But Vexite able to get the bomb plant down on the ground, and Grayhound with a post plant numbers advantage aren't done yet in this half. Looking for that 5th round. I think they might just get it as well. This will be a tough one to retake. Vexite on the timing. Didn't actually spot Addict, but was able to chunk him down quite substantially after that kill came through. And it's still a 2-on-2. Inns hasn't had to move. Vexite will now have to swing off of that Molotov, but he's still alive! And the time is really ticking away from Bad News Kangaroos at this point in time. Inns is the kind of player that you'd want in this situation, but maybe not in this round. The shots just don't connect. And it's 8-4 for Bad News Kangaroos as they pull off a pretty miraculous retake, all things considered. Well, it looks like we've got a pretty interesting game on our hands here at the moment. Bad News Kangaroos up 8-4, and they head into the second half of the first map. Looking like they might be able to get a dub on the board to kick things off.
Still got a T side ahead of us yet. Seems like they're waiting around for this hut push. Stomps being made, ins maybe being reeled in a little bit as Dexter's found a pick already. Flight across hut here does not go the way that ins would have anticipated, but there's multiple players stomping their way straight through radio, and they've dropped the bomb in lobby.
Yeah, not a good spot to be in for Addict and Hazard, but not unwinnable until that happens. So, just as you think Bad News Kangaroos are off to a good thing, Grayhound land a punch back. That was very much the case in the first half as well, it felt like, though I guess getting the 8-4 scoreline as opposed to the 7-5 scoreline did kind of feel like it maybe sealed the deal a little bit for Bad News Kangaroos. That, yep, they have actually done a pretty good job in the first half. All that's irrelevant, really, though, if things don't come together in the second. So let's see how they do negotiate this second round force buy.
Yeah, down a bomb plant. Straight down the vent with Dooley's his hats. I don't think he's been spotted on the drop there. And you can see the rest of the teams making their way straight through ramp. But liazz has already found 2 repeats with only 5 or 6 bullets. That's just shut down the round single-handedly.
Pretty sharp shot. And so it's just Hats left now, who was sent elsewhere to try and do some work and can't get much done. That's a bit of a shutout from Grayhound.
Unfortunate. It's like an individual performance. Spray down on the ramp. We always know that liazz in that anchor role is good for a multi-frag, but in theory, I mean, if you were able to actually scale out onto that ramp player with the quick drop down the vent timing that they had, that could have been a really good round for Bad News Kangaroos, but this does not come together. And with such a clean shutdown of the force buy, with how much cash Grayhound has built up, and with how much this round is looking like it's about to be a tech pause, I'm feeling really good about the CT side right now, Jordan.
Yeah, me too. I think Grayhound looking pretty comfortable in this second half so far. Not sure exactly what the issue is, but hopefully it'll be sorted pretty quick. Get a bit of an update over on the other game as well, see what's happening over there.
Looking pretty close.
Mindfreak 6-5, yeah.
That's Mindfreak's pick. Seen Danger playing pretty well this year, as opposed to last year.
Back to it, huh?
Yeah. Peaking at the right time. Would have loved to see Addict keep that glass cannon P90 into this round, but not to be.
Not sure that his teammates really would have. But Hats has at least managed to make it down to B side, so see if he can get the bomb plan here. Won't quite. So liazz was able to go charging down the ramp, and that's pretty much that. All she wrote for the round. Quick one. Can't say I'm too disappointed by not having to watch the Glocks run around for a minute and a half, but we'll get into the first gun round of the half, and this is where Bad News Kangaroos really have to make their mark known again.
Yeah, they've had the loss bonus really stacked up at this point, and look, the scoreline lead that they built for themselves in that last half is really diminished at this point. Early AWP timing coming out here for Alistair. He's going to make his way over to outside Oranix. Need to see. Ooh, very aggressive. Straight across onto the deep line on the outside here. Isn't going to catch Addict, who started to make his way back under silo, but both him and Brace looking for some kind of CT aggression. They're aware that the MP9s are out here, so the flash timing from a rifle to look for an early pick could definitely be a possibility. The rest of the T's still very much sitting around in lobby, but starting to make their way through outside, and Alistair is looking quick. Early pick there from Grayhound, and you could see immediate shift in the rotations. The CT's just looking to sit back and maintain that man advantage. See what the T side's next move will be.
But yeah, Alistair definitely having a day at the moment. PZ's making a lot of noise here as well, so I was going to say Dexter should be pretty well prepared for him, and is. Ultimately, it comes down to a trade from Hats, but having now seen Hats get himself a kill, it's kind of hanging in the balance. Bomb just has to be retrieved on outer, and has now been by Hats. By Hazard. This is insanely difficult, looking at them on the mini-map and trying to figure out which one is which sometimes. Names look exactly the same. But either way,
Gotta go Specsavers, mate.
Bad News Kangaroos doing pretty well in this first gun round, even despite essentially playing 4v5 because Addict got picked off earlier by Alistair.
Yeah, great recovery. You can see Hats from that door position just being incredibly annoying. Hazard getting a lot of work done on outside. I think it was just a ping pong of taking a duel over on door side, and then you're able to create a little bit more of a ripple in the rotations and a bit more space on outside, and they're able to work those duels very effectively. So mid-round well navigated by the Kangaroos. Orb going to be saved over here though, so the CTs still probably have got 2 good buys in the back pocket there. And 3 guns alive, a bit of a middling result here for Bad News Kangaroos. So still very much anyone's game at this point.
Terrorists win.
Well, the good news, I guess, for Bad News Kangaroos is that they will have that belief that this is going to be possible. Already done it once in the last couple of days on Inferno against Grayhound in the Asia RMR qualifier. So that'll be fresh in the mind. They'll be saying, look, we've got a good opportunity here again. It's definitely possible. Let's lock it in.
Heavy presence on outside here from Grayhound. Right into upper though from the Kangaroos, and that's kind of caught the CTs completely off timing. Double entry there. Liazz able to at least pick up PZ in the meanwhile, but post plant getting sped up here. Alistair maybe setting up for the Heaven Flood, or are they just going to save? It's an immediate save from Grayhound. I suppose that makes sense. You lose the double entry in upper. Grayhound with a bit of a misread there. You could see with how much they set up in warehouse, they were anticipating, again, pressure towards outside from the Bad News Kangaroos, especially with how much space they were able to find out there in the previous round from Hazard. But this is why we love Toby Brace Barnes. He's really, really good at conditioning certain teams. He's really good at deciding when he's going to change up the calling round to round. And, you know, Vertex is, or I should say Bad News Kangaroos is very, very well-drilled team who can hit these exec timings really, really nicely. And that's a perfect example of it.
Three rounds away now for Bad News Kangaroos. It's definitely feeling within their grasp. Just got to hope that something doesn't go wrong. Kind of suffered from that a little bit in the first half, losing that pistol round. The anti-eco round, I guess, from their perspective. Got to make sure that they cross their T's, dot their I's, get this one done.
Radio line here from Alistair. Not seeing anyone over in that position. Multiple rifles in upper, anticipating another upper's timing here. But it's going to be the ramp pivot, and look at that. An instant entry for Addict. Liazz trying to pick up the pieces. A double entry, full blind. This is unreal from Bad News Kangaroos. They are playing these rounds perfectly.
Yeah, not much for Inns and Vexide to do here, apart from see if they can hang on to the guns. Inns has already been spotted in the warehouse. So PZ is going to start to have a little bit of a look maybe in that direction. He's clearing out the A site. CTs know that they need to move up their positions. Change things up a little bit so they can't get tracked down so easily.
If a quieter game from Addict up until that point. That double entry was good as gold. And it feels like the first picks have pretty consistently been going the way of Bad News Kangaroos. Even on that CT side, the riflers were finding opening picks pretty consistently. And then now on the T side, the entries have felt really clean these last couple of rounds. Obviously, Alistair finding the pick on outside in one of the early gun rounds, but from there, the riflers were able to walk through outside and find favorable duels. You had duels coming out from Squeaky in these last 2 rounds. Both cases of very easy looking double entries through uppers and ramp side. Something is not going right for Grayhound right now.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a lot of time to figure it out, do they? MR13 goes by pretty quick. Molly onto Hut. Hasn't pushed Dexter off of that position, so that could be problems for Bad News Kangaroos if they assume that it's clear, and indeed has a will. So he'll go down for 3. Does get traded back by Hats, who's found another one on the entry. I told you, he's looking good in this roster. And again, another solid performance from Hats, 14 and 12 today so far. A couple of big frags there. Gets Bad News Kangaroos the advantage in this round.
Still from Heaven's side, trying to deny the bomb plant. Brace dodges that nicely, and they return a Molotov in favor. Hats knowing that CT has been pushed back. That's a cheeky little timing to walk through the annex smoke. And that's the kind of play that tells you he's feeling himself. So once again, we must ask Alistair to do the impossible. He's been playing Safe Simulator right now. And Hats is not keen to let him do it again.
Yeah, Alistair's going to be lucky to get away with this AWP, but maybe the chase isn't quite as strong from Bad News Kangaroos. Still, they'll be happy. They'll be up to 12.
And it has to be said, like, 12-7, the T-side gun round's looking phenomenal. Grayhound, they won round 2 forced T-side and a half-buy. And the Deagle round. Just the eco with Deagle, Tech 9 armor, and then a half buy at the end of the half. So 3 of these rounds, arguably more because the second round force buy and the Deagle round they won ended in an anti-eco. I feel like at least 3, 4, 5 of these rounds from Grayhound weren't earned in their early gun rounds. So this is a very, very dominant performance from Bad News Kangaroos right now. What you're seeing is just gun round dominance. They are looking like a much better team on Nuke right now. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on with Grayhound. Maybe kicking their feet up a little bit too much. It's only the upper bracket. We see them lose in these situations at times. Plus they just qualified for the RMR, so they're probably feeling pretty good.
Well, last-ditch attempt for Grayhound to try to hold on. It's not a particularly enjoyable-looking buy there. They have managed to get the AWP out for Alistair still, and you know, M4s for a couple of members. It's definitely not the worst of buys, but they can get a lot done with a little, this team, so I wouldn't say it's over necessarily just yet. Dexter going to re-smoke Squeaky, and Alistair has been the difference maker for Grayhound so far in this matchup and has an opportunity to continue that trend. Good shot onto Addict, untradeable. Dexter gets himself 1 or 2, and even Backside working out into Hut, able to capitalize on PZ's missed shot. So that's just one of those rounds where you almost know that's going to happen when it's Grayhound. Can't say it's over until it's over.
I think a little bit of an adjustment there as well. Grayhound being a bit more disruptive. It's felt like a lot of these rounds, outside of the early pick on outside that kind of put them behind the 8 ball, it's felt like Bad News Kangaroos are able to execute on them, and it's working very seamlessly. That round, Grayhound able to kind of get them in their face before the snowball starts rolling, so to speak. Addict making some pace on outside here, joined by a couple of the boys. No additional smokes on outside here. Orcs to be moved over to ramp room here from Grayhound. Just patience from the T side.
Nade's not quite going to land. PZ caught out in no man's land, and he's holding onto the bomb, so everyone's on their merry way down into lower. And he's pretty much stuck at red crate.
It's an awkward round to navigate as the T side now. They've got presence down in lower, but how do you meet up with these 2 players? Oh, losing that pick. Hats gets shot in the feet. Means no lobby presence here for the T side, and they still just have no way of getting these 2 players from backside lobby into lowers. Someone is going to have to make a move. Maybe up the vent could be the play here for Bad News Kangaroos, but that is a very low percentage play, especially with the 3-man crossfire in upper right now.
Oh, Molotov's going to spread and force brace into the vent, but he gets down. No one even looked.
What? Okay.
It worked. It worked out.
This could be a lowest post plant. Look at the vent flood for the CTs though. This is gonna get messy as hell.
Yeah, it is indeed. They're all shooting each other in the back as well. Addict. Oh, dear.
What is going on?
That's a round.
That
Bad
was
news,
around the
Kangaroos.
Counter-Strike.
I think they need to, they probably just need a call attack pause here. Have a little chat. Reset. Because these things can get out of hand pretty quick, especially when you're versing Grayhound. And all of a sudden, that 12-8 lead that you had is maybe 12-12 or 12-11 or something like that. And it's like, oh, how did we get here?
They just needed to make a plan there. It doesn't matter what the plan was. They're all low percentage plays in that situation when the bomb gets stuck on outside. Like, either those lowest players needed to go try to pressure Megaton or go up the vent with an uppers XC or something, or the outside players needed to try to, I reckon, maybe pinch a ramp there into Alistair, but obviously, we're the ones with perfect information. But they just needed to decide something together and in a very, very awkward position that you don't end up in very often. Close wall of smoke across the outside here. Two sides making their way over. Alistair once again tasked with holding the ramp room on the AWP.
He's waiting for someone's noggin. But he's not going to get it.
Vexite has hit the vent rotation. Brace with the double peek on the timing. That drop will have been heard by the warehouse player though. See you later, Ids. Caught front side warehouse and mollied out of position. And yet again, another nice little opening pick here for Bad News Kangaroos.
Yeah, is this going to be the one that they convert? How about that from Addict? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. It certainly feels like it's going in their direction this time around. Hats up on the red. Clay has spotted out Dexter. Will lose his life, though. But it does feel like mission successful for Bad News Kangaroos at the moment. The only thing is they haven't quite got the bomb plant down. Has this just in the corner of the site, waiting for it to be made safe. Easy's barrel might have been spotted there by Liazz. Shots certainly ringing through. And PC might well need a bit of assistance here, so Hazard will just float his way out onto the ramp. Have a look towards Megaton and see if he can spot any of the players peeking their way forward. PZ to strike this time around. It's just Alistair and Dexter now trying to make this retake happen. A 2-on-4. Dexter's doing well. He needs Alistair's support, though. There's two players toward the double doors. Flashes in. Alistair's now spotted out as well. P250 connects. Time running down. Dexter is going to try to win the round, and Alistair is just in time, I think, going to hit the shot. The defuse is on. And that's fine for Grayhound because, well, they've saved the day. The 2v4, Alistair and Dexter keep it alive.
It's just unreal. No bullets left in the AWP for PZ. Unfortunate. But it's those kind of clutches that Grayhound is known for in this region, especially against teams like the Bad News Kangaroos. Tack timeout getting called here. It's a awkward position economically. The loss bonus starting to stack up here for the T side, but with 3.2, 3.6 for Addict, 3.4 for PZ. We'll see what they decide to put together here. Either going to be a full investment, or maybe one of those half buys with a couple of rifles invested and then Tech 9 armor for the other boys to maximize your full buy in the last round. But with 2.9, if you can at least get yourself a bomb plant heading into the next round, you're feeling pretty confident you can put together a good buy in that last round. So here is the choice here from Bad News Kangaroos. Fair bit invested in this round. PZ saving for something or other. No, there you go. Buys it a little last second. What is the call? Need to at least get yourself a bomb plant or you're going to be in an awkward position for sure. A lot of util pressure on lobby. Waiting out the initial util from the CT side. Alistair spots out one. In comes the hut push, but Vexite shuts that down before it even gets started, Jordan.
Well, the back 10 brace off the top. Has managed to catch Vexite. The trades end up being not too bad for Bad News Kangaroos, though it does leave a little bit to be desired. And you spoke about the importance of that bomb plant. Doesn't look like they're going to be getting that now. Hats would have to go Super Saiyan to win this one. Says creeping out onto the line. Will lose his life, but ins unexpected from Annex. And it seems maybe Grayhound is actually going to make this comeback happen.
Yeah, 3k for three of these players. 3.9 for Brace and Hats. Not what you want to be staring down the barrel of given that overtime is definitely looming on the horizon now. So uppers timing after the initial util was the call last time from the T's did not work for them. Grayhound shut them down, disrupted them in the choke. This time they make their way towards outside, and it's once again a pretty good read here. Inns is already on the line towards outside. Taking an initial duel, it's a double headshot. And see Alistair already making his way down through secret as well.
Yeah, nice raw adjustment from Inns to get that second player. Ali, shot gets baited out by PZ in the end, I guess. We'll give away the position, but be happy with the proceedings thus far into round number 24 for Grayhound.
What to do now in the 3-on-4? Looking for a pick through door side. Hats has opened up a couple of these rounds. PC trying to make some moves on outside here. Alistair keeping an eye on lower. Liazz on ramp. Two players playing the pivot in uppers. Oh, that is a hell of a timing there from PZ, catching them in transition into Heart. They wanted to go for the double Heart push, and that has been punished.
Another clutch required from Grayhound, this time 3-on-2. Definitely doable, especially considering Brace is low on HP, but it shouldn't have got to this point. Grayhound, it felt like they were going to make that to OT, and now it swings back in the other direction where you'd say bad news Kangaroos. This is their chance to close the map out. Another 13-11 on the cards for them. They've gotten rid of Liazz. It's just Alistair. And I'm not really sure what he's going to be able to do about it. He's making a ton of noise going up into heaven. He doesn't really have any other options. And that'll be a little bit too easy in the end for Hats to get the trade. And bad news Kangaroos will indeed secure map number 1. It was a bit of a roller coaster, to be fair, Pilski, but they got there in the end.
Yeah, 100%. I think obviously Greyhound started to get themselves warmed up a little bit more towards the